Hello everybody and welcome to Sin City Living. My name is Jason. I'll be bringing you today's episode. As always, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. We have a ton of content coming out for you guys every single week. We don't want you to miss a thing. Our usual shout out of appreciation to our patrons. All those tips and support are highly appreciated. It's only going to go towards making the channel better. We're hoping to add a lot more games to the channel, such as roulette, video keno, video poker, carnival games, things along those lines. We just want to do it right, which is going to be very expensive, so it's going to take some time. You could help us out if you wanted to. If not, no big deal. We appreciate you guys just tuning in, but if you're curious about it, go ahead and check the description down below this video on the patronage. And for our patrons, we do hope you are appreciating those patron-only exclusive videos we're putting out for you guys every single week. If you have anything you'd like to see, just email us on the site. We're more than happy to film it for you. As for the rest of you, please continue tuning in. We have, like I said, a ton of content coming out. And if you have any suggestions, questions, strategies, anything related to craps, baccarat, blackjack, pai gow, casinos, Vegas in general, just go ahead and shoot us an email at sincityliving@gmail.com. We absolutely love to shoot these videos for you guys. It is our favorite thing to do. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into today's video. Hello everybody, I'm Jason. This is my lovely wife,
Amy.
And we are bringing you today's episode of Crossfire. And today's going to be a kind of a different one than a lot of the ones we've done. We want to talk about things that, of course, you as players would not know, which are some of the lesser known rules that apply to the dealers. A lot of people don't realize that there are a lot of rules on us, and there's also a lot of things that people think are rules that are not. For instance, a lot of people think that we're supposed to give players advice to make them lose. That is the stupidest thing in the world, because 80% of our pay, 70% of our pay comes from you.
Yep.
We get paid minimum wage at most of the properties, and if I had to live off of my hourly rate, I wouldn't have my lovely wife, I wouldn't have this house, I wouldn't have a kid in school, and a puppy, and 2 cars, and the whole nuclear family thing.
Yeah, not a thing.
I make my money off of you guys, which means I need you guys to win. So, and there are no rules about us giving you advice. In fact, we are expected to help you out and give you advice. The casino does not care how you play as long as you bet. They don't care.
But on the blackjack side, we are not allowed to give you advice that goes against the basic strategy. If you ask us, what should I do here? There is a list of a very, 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 very specific list of things we can tell you to do. We can tell you how to play according to basic strategy, and that is it.
And a lot of casinos will make sure that the verbiage we use is very, very limited. When I was taught and when I started working my break-in places, I was told, it's very dangerous for me to tell a player what to do when they ask, because if they lose, then they can say, well, but he told me to play that way. So my answer is always, well, the book says you should play this way, but if you want to play to your heart, by all means, it's your game. So the verbiage I would use would be, well, the book says, or standard strategy says this, but it's entirely up to you. I can never actually just flat out say you should play this way. I just can't. I will give you this bit of advice, by the way, at least on blackjack. If the dealer has to call out what you were doing,
not a good idea. Don't do it.
Then
Stop.
Don't do it. So, because that means that they need to make sure there's someone else that's aware that a player is doing something that is very bad.
Stop doubling down on hard 12.
So, yeah, there's that.
And for the love of God, please don't split tens.
Oh God, no, don't. So yes, we are encouraged to help you guys. If we help you guys and you win, you're going to play more. And believe me, the casino wants you to win. The casino doesn't want everyone to lose, because if everybody lost, people wouldn't be playing. People have to win. The casino's going to make their money. They're not worried about that. They definitely want people to win. They want people to be happy. Mm-hmm. And they also want people taking care of the dealers, which means that they need to win.
Yeah.
Now, some of the things that we can't say, we can't encourage you to tip. We can't even, what they call soft hustling, we're not supposed to, at least, even do more subtle slide things to encourage players to tip. Which is also, by the way, the reason that as a player, you're not allowed to ask other players to tip you. See that on craps all the time. We've kicked people off the tables for that after a warning or two. If us, whose income depends upon the players, aren't allowed to hustle for tips, we damn sure are not going to allow players to do it.
Yeah.
But we're not allowed to. We're not allowed to hustle for tips. We're not allowed to ask for tips. We're not even allowed to encourage tips. We are also not allowed to gamble our money unless you say so.
Right.
If you tip us $5, I can't say thank you, I'm going to bet it on this. I'm not allowed to gamble.
Nope.
Now, if you give me $5 and say play it wherever you like, you just told me to play it. You just said it has to be gambled. So now I'm going to be able to put it on a bet somewhere.
Right.
There are a couple of gray areas. If you make a bet and then you throw $1 and say right behind it and say that's for the dealers, then that's kind of a gray area. It could just be locked up, but you could also be implying that the same bet is two-way, that you're doing the same bet for dealer. You know, if you say I want a $5 hard 10 and that dollar's for the dealers, okay, that could very reasonably be a 5-1 two-way bet.
Right.
So that's a gray area that's okay, but otherwise we can't sit there and hustle for drinks.
For drinks.
Or for tips. You definitely can't hustle for drinks.
No.
You can't hustle for tips. That came out because of the next thing I was going to say is when we get off our shift, most places are not going to allow us to sit down and have a drink with players.
We are not allowed to do that.
Not at all. Most places certainly allow the dealers to have a drink in their location, but we are not allowed to basically fraternize with the players.
Nope.
And sit and have drinks with the players. Absolutely 100% not. Dealers are also, and actually casino employees, except for housekeeping, are also not allowed into hotel rooms or even into the hotel wings or towers most of the time. Some properties may allow, but none that I'm aware of.
Nope.
Absolutely not allowed to, which also means that when we're off duty, if we're say on vacation or something, I can't get a room at the hotel I work at.
Nope.
Not allowed without specific permission, and there better be a really good reason. Like before they moved out to Nevada, my family would come every so often, and they would get a room sometimes at the property I stay at, and I could have gone and asked for permission to go up the tower to go see my family in their room, and I probably would have been granted permission, but I never asked. I never even tried because they knew my family knew that it was kind of pointless. They just meet me somewhere else. Why should I? Why should I put myself out there like that? But I probably would have gotten permission for something like that. But we're not generally allowed to.
No.
What else are we not allowed to do? Obviously drink.
And we are not allowed to accept gifts.
That's a big one. We've known people that got fired for that.
Oh, I've known quite a few people who've gotten fired.
The smallest little thing too. But not allowed to accept gifts.
Especially not cash.
And off the game, outside the casino.
Yeah, big no.
Yeah, no.
Hard no.
Yeah, because we've known people that got fired for that.
Yep. Let's see. We are.
Here's one for you guys. We're not allowed to fix our own mistakes.
No, God, no. That's grounds for termination.
A lot of people, oh, you forgot to pay me this, and then they get super upset because we're like, oh man, you're absolutely right. Hey. And we're calling the floor instead of just paying them. We're like, well, you forgot, just pay me. And
Nope.
we cannot fix our own mistakes. Hey, I forgot to pay him. And the floor is going to be like, yeah, okay, go ahead, pay him. No big deal. It's fine. Everyone makes mistakes. Nobody gets upset about it. But we're not allowed to just fix it ourselves. Blackjack, craps. You're going to occasionally see dealers that'll do that. They're taking a risk, for sure. Generally, if there's a mistake, we need to call someone and let them know, hey, I screwed up. This is what I did. Can I go ahead and fix it? And yeah, absolutely. I missed him. Forgot to take my card or something like that. We know what's going to happen. We know it's going to be a dead hand. We're going to redeal, or possibly back it up, depending on what's going on. But we can't just do it.
Nope.
We have to let the floor know, and then they have to come over, and we tell them what we did, and then say, okay, go ahead and, I can't remember what it's called, but kill the hand or whatever. Muck it. Yeah, just muck the hand and deal a new hand.
We also cannot take anything at all, aside from a player's card, out of your hand.
So many
We
people
can't.
are holding cash and then waving it in our faces. Just put it down.
It's gotten so ingrained that I can't even do it at like the grocery store. Like I can't, can you?
It's just like the whole clearing the hands thing. I pay the grocery
man.
store and clear my hands.
Yep,
It's just what it is.
absolutely. And we also aren't allowed to high five, shake hands, any of that. Surveillance does not like to not be able to see what's going on. So going like this, you could be slipping me money, you could be slipping me chips, I could be slipping you something. We can fist bump as long as we clear our hands before and afterwards, but no hand-to-hand contact.
Which actually brings up a general rule for the players. You're not allowed to touch the dealers.
No, please don't touch me.
And we're not likely to. They're not gonna. Oh my God! Especially on the craps table, because you're right next to us. Especially when we're on
Gross.
stick, but even on base, you could be right next to us. And hey, pay me over there. Nobody's gonna flip out, but there's a good chance that the dealer's gonna say,
Please
"Do me a
don't
favor,
touch
please
me."
don't touch me." We have names. You can call us. Especially when the player is trying to do something. Is like, "Oh, you didn't pay me, and it's like, dude, we're getting to you. We have a procedure. We're following it. There's a certain order we pay. We get to you, but you're not allowed to touch the dealers. I've actually had someone put their arm around me when I was on stick, and that was one of the few times when I was very stern with, do not touch me. And that player actually, his player was like a 6'6", 400 pound guy, and was I'll do whatever I want. And the suit that was sitting, without even missing a beat, oh no, you will not. He told you not to touch him. You will not touch him, or you will not be at this table.
Ooh.
Yeah, we actually
And another
just,
thing,
we're hanging out with that.
please stop when you're been given the cut card. Please don't do this.
Yes.
I don't know a single dealer who likes that.
Don't
It makes me very uncomfortable and I do not enjoy it, so please don't do that.
don't touch the dealers. Don't pat us on the shoulder. Don't tap my arm to get my attention.
And please
No touch.
stop saying good girl. I don't like that.
I'd be perfectly happy if I never heard winner, winner, chicken dinner again in my life.
That too. That too.
But that's just me. What else are we not allowed to do? Besides obvious stuff, drink, do drugs, and so on and so forth.
We are not allowed to give out any information on our coworkers. We can't tell you anybody's last names. We can't tell you what shifts they work. We can't tell you what their days offs are. We cannot and will not. I will not tell you what the waitress's name is. If she wants to tell you, she will tell you. I cannot tell you what the dealer next to me when her next shift is. I'm not going to do that either, so please do not ask.
Basically, if you want to creep, you're going to have to do it all on your own.
Yeah.
We will not and cannot help you with that.
Nope.
Just not going to happen.
I've had a few of my waitress friends stalked, and there was a big scandal a few years back where somebody gave a creepy guy the entire list of every waitress's name, their shifts they work, their phone numbers.
Oh, God.
I mean, that person was fired, but I mean, seriously?
Yeah, that's just, wow. Oh, one last thing that is not so much a rule, it's just we can't do this. We just can't. Don't come to the craps table and you've been there for like 10 minutes. I haven't seen a cocktail waitress. Call a cocktail waitress over. We don't have a button. We don't have a flag that we raise.
There used to be a clicker.
There's not anymore. I tell you that. The cocktails are on rotation around whatever area they are in charge of. Then they are waiting at the bar for God knows how long to make the 50 drinks that all 30 of you ordered. And then they have to carry them around, drop them all off, write down new drink orders. Yet sometimes you got to wait a little bit for a drink. Sorry, it's
But
free.
She will come back.
But they're gonna come around. But we cannot call the cocktail. The suit cannot call the cocktail over. Cannot say, stop taking care of those 20 people whose drinks you already have on your tray and come over here for this one person. It's not gonna work that way. Just stop asking.
And 9 times out of 10, you've been there 2 minutes and you're just impatient.
I actually had somebody one time that was flipping out about, I've been waiting 20 minutes for the cocktail, and I'd look down at the computer screen because they give me a player's card, and I went, sir, I swiped your card 3 minutes ago. And the suit that was standing behind me just started laughing, and this guy kept going off, and the suit said the same thing, like, sir, you haven't been there that long, she'll be around, we can't call her, she'll be around. Well, color me up, I'm going somewhere else. And okay, have a great night. We cannot call the cocktail waitress over. She's got her job to do. She is doing her job. We can't tell her to stop doing her job to come over here for this one person and break everything else that she's doing. It's not going to happen.
And not to mention, that's really rude. How would you feel if you were on the other end of that and you were one of those 20 people, and guy over in the next pit over decides that he wants to just jump in right in the middle of the line of everybody waiting and wants to be served first? I mean,
It's just not going to happen.
right, it's just rude. Please don't be rude.
And by the way, there's a good chance at that point that your next drink's going to be even slower. I hate to tell you, especially if you give the cocktail crap.
Or really weak.
So yeah, so that's all I've got.
Yep, I'm out.
I hope you guys find this interesting, illuminating, enlightening, or at least amusing. Thank you very
Delightful.
much for watching. We will catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye now.